What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video brought to you by DotaFanTV. Today we'll be looking at two series that happened yesterday night, which is Team Secret against Tundra Esports and then Team's Alliance against Team Nigma, which is probably the most anticipated series of the week. Without further ado, let's go. So for the first series, we have Team Secret against Tundra Esports. Where at the end of the day, Team Secret beat Tundra Esports 2-1. Team Tundra Esports did, get a little bit of comeback in the second game where they beat Team Secret, with a relatively stompy vibe, 10-35. But when we look at the other two games that Team Secret won is fairly stompy as well, I would say, 34-9, 35-11. I did watch the game yesterday. Something that I really don't understand is that against Team Secret, why would you let them get Beastmaster? There is absolutely no way you should be letting them get Beastmaster. Nisha on the Beastmaster, this hero is fucking broken at the moment. It's probably the most banned hero of the entire tournament up until this point. And I did watch the game and I was looking at which hero they banned. They actually banned Io and Centaur. I mean, Centaur kind of makes sense, but Io I don't think is that broken after the nerf. I'm not too sure what was Tundra Esports thinking in the first series. I think the Beastmasters just have a way too good of a game, then eventually snowball into the win. There is just no chance. We look at the graph, not at any point that it felt like Team Secret has any trouble, and it's pretty much the same as well for the third game, I would say, when Team Secret just steamrolled them. So when we look at the third game, similarly, when we look at the graph, it's just the very Team Secret way of winning, So they did rally a little bit from Tundra Esports in the second game, which is something I would want to highlight a little bit more, because it's not taking the game away from Team Secret. Is something that I think Tundra should be proud of. They play very well in this game, and I would say that I don't recall a lot of games where Team Secret lose the laning stage. Most of the games that we watch Team Secret play, they are after the laning stage, maybe after 8 minutes, 10 minutes, they are 2k lead, 3k lead, 4k lead, and then they just slowly push you to the edge, choke you down, and force the game having like a massive lead, and then you just lose the game. This is, I'm sure a lot of the Dota fans will agree with me. Whenever we watch Team Secret, it's just about them, how they protect their own lead, and when they have the lead, how do they choke down the opponent and eventually close out the game. That is just the way Team Secret play, because it felt like every single player that they have is so much more mechanically skilled than you in terms of the laning stage, in terms of the micro understanding of the laning stage, how to win the lane, how to have better network fleet, and so on. So it's just, they are very comfortable playing with that way, with the lead, and they know how to choke you down and pressure you and make you lose the game, which brings me to another point, right? In this game, how did Tundra Esports actually make Team Secret lose the game, right? It's actually the way they beat them is in being more efficient than them, and make them not comfortable to fight in the mid game. What this means is, because Team Secret are so comfortable always having like maybe like few 2k lead, 3k lead, 4k lead within like the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes, right? So what you want to do is you want to make the game even in terms of net worth, like not give Team Secret that kind of lead when the game goes to mid game, so they will feel a bit uncomfortable because they're so used to playing with a lead, playing with having some net worth lead or being strong in the mid game, right? So you want to pick very mid game heavy or even early game strong hero, and this is exactly what Tundra Esports did. Maybe when you look at this, you don't really line up, right? You don't really feel like, oh, is this really a very early game lineup or whatever? But what you don't realize is Snake King on the Enigma is actually playing a position 4. So what they did is they put Snake King position 4 Enigma and throw him into the jungle. He is a jungle Enigma, right? So if you look at the net worth, the Brewmaster did suffer a little bit, right, in the beginning. green color line here in the beginning, because he was solo lane against 2 heroes I think, when the Enigma was actually jungling. But Team Secret didn't punish this too hard, so that would means that by the time you have that would means that you have one extra hero that is farming, and by the time the games hit 10 minutes or whatever, there's actually no, I don't think it was a big lead from Team Secret. So 10 minutes, it wasn't a big lead, right? Even until like 20 minutes, there's like very marginal leads only by Team Secret. So that is how you want to, I would think the secret to beat Team Secret is right there, where you don't let them have a huge goal lead by playing maybe a position 4 that can go jungle. This could be the strategy to beat Team Secret, right? So for the second series that we'll be looking at is the series between Team Alliance and Team Nigma. This is, for me personally, the most anticipated game of the week, series of the week, whatever you want to call it. Simply because Team Alliance seems super strong. They beat Team OG 2-1, and then they also won another series against Team Liquid. So right now they are 2-0 before going into this series. And then Team Nigma on the other hand, they are 1-1. They did lose the previous series to Team Liquid, but they are the only team that is able to take down a big boss of Team Secret by beating them 2-0 last week. So both teams kind of have showed their strength in this tournament so far. So at the end of the day, of course, we all know Team Alliance beat Team Nigma. I think personally, and once again, I can't believe I've said this, I have to say this again, I think I have to give more credit to Team Alliance. They always kind of make me feel a bit doubtful, because I can't really point out where exactly is their strength, but every single time they play against a strong team or weak team, they simply are able to rise to the occasion. If they face a strong team, rise to the occasion and beat them against Team OG, and then right now against Nigma. And even going back to last season, where they faced against Team Secret, they did make Team Secret kind of have to fight for the win. Eventually Team Secret won the series, but it was a really intense and close game, I remember. And when we look at this series between them, I think game 1, it was relatively convincing the way Team Alliance win. It was a bit of a comeback. If you look at the graph, Team Nigma seems to be on the way to win, but then they are able to pull it back, right? So this is one of the way to win it. And then if we look at the second game, right? To be honest, second game I think it was a bit of a throw by Team Alliance. They were leading, and then they simply play their hands too much. And then when we look at the team fight that Team Nigma have, heavy team fight draft that they have, right? When you play your hands too much, it was just, it costs you. So when they were leading, and then they just, between 1 or 2 fights where they didn't play well, it's just a big swing towards Team Nigma side. And in the third game, it was the score doesn't reflect it, but in my opinion, it was a very stompy game. Nothing too much I want to highlight in terms of the gameplay itself, but what I want to look at is actually, so I've already given Team Alliance some credit, to be honest. I also want to give Team Nigma a big credit as well. I don't think they play very particularly any badly. Maybe the draft is a little bit too team fight heavy, and they sacrifice a lot more in terms of the lane. But having to say that, I actually want to give a huge credit to ILTW, which is their new carry, right? Because I felt like his performance and how fast he gelled with the team, right, is really impressive. There are some because it's very team fight heavy, right, the draft. So there are some team fights combo which are really good. Like I said, I give credit to everyone, but there are also some which are a little bit more questionable. So I would say that I give credit to ILTW for gelling well with the team. It was still not a finish good yet, it's not completed yet, but it is a very decent progress. Looking at how they have played so far, I think I'm quite impressed. Having said that, we also have to consider that they haven't actually boot camp yet. They are not actually playing together. They are playing separately, each person in their own home, as far as I know. When you look at the camera, from the player perspective, or I think there was a interview that Kuroki mentioned as well. They haven't actually moved on to bootcamp because right now they are during Ramadan month and they are fasting and all those things. When they start the bootcamp and start playing next to each other, that is the scary part. I think that is the time that we should judge them more. But right now, given this kind of circumstance and that is the kind of level of performance that they can pull, I would have to say I'm quite impressed with them, to be honest. And obviously they didn't win the series, but still it was I think a performance that Team Nigma and their fans can be happy with. We can take a look at the table as well to actually look at what all these results means to the team that was involved. Firstly, the obvious one would be Team Tundra actually falls into the relegation zone right now, where after the loss they are actually tied with Nigma, but yeah, they are in the relegation zone for both teams, which is a bit scary for them. If we remember last season, actually Tundra Esports just barely made it. I think they were fifth. They were sixth, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they were sixth in the league. And the seventh and eighth was Viking and High Coast Esport, and both of them got relegated. So it is a bit spooky as well for Tundra Esport to be in this position at the moment. And they actually lost the game to Bram as well, which is a newly promoted side. So I think they need to step up. They have to take one series at least, or two series between the game against all these top team, in order to survive, or else it is a very risky position to be in. And on the other hand, Team Secret that beat Team Tundra, they are a bit more comfortable sitting at the second spot right now with a 2-1. The first series they lost to Team Nigma, right? And then after that they beat Tundra, and then they beat Smash. And to be fair to them, I don't think that these two games between Secret versus Tundra and Secret versus Smash is too convincing by Team Secret. Both the game they did drop one game for both series. So in the end of the day, their score is 4-4. Having said that, I think if you lost your first game against Team Nigma and you needed a bounce back, the game between Tundra and Smash would be a good way to bounce back, just to regain your confidence, and they did that. And then moving on, we have which was the team? We have Team Nigma, like we mentioned, a bit spooky from them. They did drop into a relegation zone. Other than the first series that they played where they beat Team Secret, they actually haven't win any game after that. They lost to Team Liquid, and then they lost to Team Alliance. Having said that, I think, like I mentioned earlier, in the circumstances they are currently in, fasting month plus the fact that they are not boot camping it, I think probably alright to give them a small pass at the moment. And ILTW needed more time to gel with the team. If I'm and looking at the performance, honestly, I think they will slowly pick up some games. I'm not too worried for Team Nigma, actually, if I look at it that way. And then, of course, last but not least, we have Team Alliance, who, in my opinion, is probably the new Team Secret of the current season. They are not as convincing as Team Secret last year. I think Team Secret last year start with 4-0, and then they have 8-0 in terms of games. So 4-0 series is all 2-0. And the way Alliance won all three games were actually 2-1. I'm not saying it's bad, but they are the new Team Secret in the sense that they are the one team that probably above everyone else, but it's not as big of a gap as what Team Secret able to achieve last year. But still, big credit to them. Like coming to the season, I think I am one of the doubter, not gonna lie, but I mean doubter based on their performance in the major, but they did prove me wrong. So big kudos to them for providing us all this really close and good series. Okay, looking at the game in the upcoming week, we have Brame against Liquid, Smash against OG, and then Secret. So there are a lot of games between that is played by Brame, and 2 games by Brame, and then 2 series by Smash, I think these are the games that for the big boys like Liquid and OG, these are the games that they have to win. They cannot afford to lose. Losing to Brame and Smash, no disrespect to them, but they're relatively smaller team. Losing to them will cause a big dent to their pursuit of going to the major. You know, for example, like Team OG, they did beat who did they beat? They lost to Alliance. They beat Team Brame, which is a game that they needed to win. They lost to Alliance. I mean, imagine if you beat, for example, you beat Team Secret, right, like Nigma, but then you lose the series against Smash. Like, what is the point, right? I would rather, if you are able to win games that you are supposed to win, like against Brame, against Smash, and against Tundra, you have 3 games in pocket already. That would help you a lot. The bigger problem is there are a little bit more uncertainty in Dota, where sometimes players just don't perform in that particular week, and so on and so forth. But my point is, these are must-win game for the big boys if they want to make it to the major. On the other hand, though, for team like Brame and Smash, these smaller boys, I think the game against all these big boys, you have to take at least 1 or 2 series if you want to survive and stay in the current league and not get relegated. Because if you look at the so-called big boys, I say there are 5 of them: Alliance, Secret, OG, Liquid, Nigma. If you just kind of go in a mindset like, oh, you know, it's going to be a tough game, and the kind of negative mindset, and you think like it's impossible to win and so on and so forth, you are eventually saying that there are 5 series that I cannot win, and you are banging on the fact that the other relatively 2 smaller teams, which is Tundra and Brame or Smash, right? You are banging that they don't take any game from the big boys. It is a risky thing to put your money on, so I would, for this Brame and Smash teams on that level, they have to try to take at least 1 series from Liquid or OG or Alliance even, right? And last but not least, of course, we're gonna have to talk about the game of the fucking week next week, which is Secret versus Alliance. This game gonna happen at fucking 12 o'clock midnight in my country, so fuck me in the ass. I'll probably do the analysis or talk about it the day after, but this is indeed the game that most people are gonna have to pay attention to, because looking at the dynamic, it seems like these 2 teams will finish top of the league this season, because Team Secret is, you know, the previous year champion, you know, of the league, and then we have Team Alliance looking really solid right now. It is a good time for Team Secret to face Alliance as well, because they faced Team Nigma, they lost, maybe affected the confidence a bit, but they did come to this series with 2 back-to-back win. So I don't know what to say, man. Nothing else that I can say. This is gonna be a mouth-watering clash between them. That is all for the video today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all again next week. Bye bye.